Saying good morning, everyone. What's going on? This is JDB's Morning Tap. Today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. Is the last day of the month of June because tomorrow's a new month, July 1st. As we're about to complete 6 months, next month will be tomorrow will be month number 7 out of 12 in 2026. As we reach the half dozen months of 2026, as we're this close to 2027. So you might as well get ready for that one. Today is the NBA free agency day here in the NBA. We have a lot of things we have a lot of topics to do so today. We only have one breaking news so far from today. I'll get to that a little bit later. It's about LeBron James' situation in Los Angeles. So I'll keep you updated as soon as possible. But the biggest news that I didn't mention yesterday, there's breaking news in the NBA from the Memphis Grizzlies. The Portland Trailblazers have acquired Ja Morant. Ja Morant is heading to Portland Trailblazers, exchanging for Chris Murray and Jeremy Grant. So the Grizzlies are sending Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray from Portland Trailblazers to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Blazers are sending Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies to the Portland Trailblazers. Those are the trades. In Memphis, he was drafted in 2020. So he's been wait, let's see if I'm correct. No, he was drafted in 2019. My bad. His career started in 2019. He was drafted. He was the number 2 overall pick of the NBA draft, behind Zion Williamson. So he spent 7 seasons with the Memphis Grizzlies. In all these 7 seasons, he's averaged 22 points a game, 7 assists a game, 4 rebounds a game. He shot 47% from the field, 31% from long range. And he's played 327 games played in his career, all with the Memphis Grizzlies. He also has missed a lot of games due to injuries or suspensions. So Ja Morant has dealing with several off-the-court issues due to illegal weapon possession, violence, also some injuries as well. So far, his career for Ja Morant got off to a really good start, put up some big-time numbers, and then since then, his numbers got derailed, and his games played has been down. His minutes has been down as well for Ja Morant. No surprise. But I do know this. Let's talk about the Grizzlies real quick. I think this is a good trade for the Grizzlies to make sure they need a different leadership from one player. Like Jerry Grant, he has more experiences. He'll get more leadership from this team. And they also, the Grizzlies already drafted Cameron Boozer, the number 3 pick out of University of Duke. That actually helps out. Trying to get the advice for Cameron Boozer. This team is going young for Memphis. Memphis team is going younger. Both Portland and Memphis are a younger team as well. except for Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is a veteran player. He's been playing a lot of years with the NBA, mostly with the Trailblazers. But Damian Lillard Bucks effect just didn't work out, so he sent back to Portland. Despite he didn't play all of last year, he will be back this year. He'll unite John Morant for the first time ever. When Morant and Lillard will play together. So, but that doesn't mean they're going to play a lot of games with Morant and Lillard together. But as far as win totals is concerned, we'll get to that in a second. Here are the Blazers projecting starting lineups in 2026-27 season. So here we go. So here's the projecting starting lineup for the Blazers in 2026-27 season with acquisition of John Morant. Point guard is going to be John Morant. Shooting guard is Damian Lillard. He'll be back from injury. Denny Avdia came up short with the most improved player last year, I believe. Yeah. Denny Avdia, small forward. And then Tumani Kamara, power forward, and center Donovan Klingen. So the depth is okay. This is an okay depth. The only problem is you put Jrue Holiday, Scoot Henderson, and Shannon Sharp to the bench. That's understandable. The area that I'm mostly concerned about Portland is the last two starting lineups. But they don't have the Blazers don't have the advantage. They don't have the right matchups. These two, they don't have the right matchups. So, even though they had Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle, and several other guys, so let's say the depth is not that strong for Portland. The assets is even better than the depth. The depth is still an issue for Portland. With Micah Nori is the new Trailblazers head coach. He came from the Minnesota Timberwolves assistant coach. But I tell you what, the Trailblazers' expectations is actually a little bit high. Not very, but a little bit high. Last year they won 42 games. They were the 8th seed. Originally they were the 8th seed last year. But the Blazers won the first round playing-in tournament game against the Suns to earn the 7th spot. And earn the right to face the Spurs in the best of 7 first round Western Conference playoffs. Although Trailblazers lost in 5 games against the Spurs. The only win in that series was Game 2 of the first round in San Antonio. But the future is bright for other guys otherwise. So, Blazers, all right, so here we go. So with Morant, so the Trailblazers, before the Morant acquisition, supposed to be 41.5 wins. Now in Morant's acquisition, 45.5 wins. So over, under, should I pick over 45.5 wins or under 45.5 wins? You know what? I'm going to pick slightly the over. I think they're going to go 49 and 33. They'll be better. Like I said, I'm going to pick slightly over 45 and a half wins. 49 and 33, which is respectable. Development is critical, but they're not there yet. They're not there yet. I think this team could win a championship for at least. They're just like a year. They're like a year or two away from doing this. But I'll tell you what, the Portland Trailblazers are a very much better ball club. I think Micah Norrie's going to do a very good job in this one. Well, Grizzlies, this is a good trade for the Grizzlies. And here's the starting five projections with Morant's departure. So you have Ty Jerome as your point guard, Cedric Coward as your shooting guard, Jalen Wells as your small forward, Cameron Boozer as your power forward, the number 3 overall pick, and Zach Edey as your center. That's your projecting starting lineups for 2026-27 season. So that's actually it's actually not that bad. They got 3 young good shooters: Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward, and then you got a decent guard play, Ty Jerome. He could be better with his handling. Is he a great shooter at times? No, but he's a much better ball handler. The Grizzlies have struggled with these turnovers last year, so they need a better ball handler. So Ty Jerome is a good fit for this team. He's trying to put this team on his back. That doesn't mean they're going to win a lot of games, but they're trying to win as much games as possible. But you got to figure out these roles. And what he thinks about, and you would have took everything you have. Tomas Silo, the Grizzlies head coach, I hope he's going to do a good job to put the Grizzlies, to turn this team around. With this young core, their spacing expect to be different for Memphis. But you got good, decent bench. You got Isaiah Stewart, Cam Spencer, Scottie Pippen Jr. They got some, and then Contavious Caldwell-Pope. This is a consistency from these guys. They can get all this done. Now the Grizzlies' win totals expect to be 35.5 wins for Memphis. Should I pick 35.5? Should I pick over 35.5 wins or under 35.5 wins? I'm going to go slightly under. I'm going to go 31 and 51 for the Memphis Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies last season, what was the Grizzlies record in 2025-26 season? 25 and 57. Grizzlies went 25 and 57 in 2025-26 season. Third worst in the Western Conference. They have the third worst record in the Western Conference. Behind the co-worst teams in the West, the Kings and Jazz have won 22 wins apiece. Kings and Jazz went 22 and 60. The Jazz actually owns the worst record in the West. because of losing a tiebreaker to Sacramento. So if let's say all that, the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm still picking under 35.5 wins, but I'm picking 31 wins, which is improvement, which is a 6-win improvement from last year. There's some, yes, they're still going to lose a lot of games, but I think their future is bright in Memphis. So that would be the case right now here. Let's move on from that. Let's start with the Los Angeles Lakers. We have breaking news out of the NBA. According to Shams Charania, NBA on ESPN Insider, LeBron James will continue his career in the NBA for 2026-27 season. However, the Lakers are officially moving on from LeBron James, which means he could play elsewhere. Should they bring back Cleveland? Should Golden State pursue LeBron James? Or should LeBron James pair up with Kevin Durant in Houston? Should LeBron James pair with Kevin Durant? He never been teammates in the NBA with Kevin Durant, but he was a teammate with Kevin Durant in Team USA. Will the Rockets pursue LeBron James? I would love to see that happen. But here's my question. Which NBA team will likely destinate for LeBron James? Which team? If James Harden doesn't sign a new deal with the team, I think LeBron James can bring him back. But I'm going to pick the Golden State Warriors. Unfortunately, I got to pick the Golden State Warriors. If you get Anthony Davis and LeBron James, this could be your big three. You got Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. This team could easily win a championship with these veteran-heavy roster. Well, the only problem is, it's not just about health issues. It's about the depth situation. And we think about LeBron and about his career. You think it's best for the team and you think it's best for the league? Nah. It's not going to help. That thing is not going to help. Because of that, you would have put yourself in a really, really bad spot, my man. So, right now, this is what just happened right now. You put Ronnie James in a fully guaranteed, his son, Ronnie James Jr., put him fully guaranteed his maximum of his contract. But we already know this. You would have told anyone, you put yourself in a really, really bad situation. Then you say, hey, I want you to play with the other team. You think the Warriors, you think about the Warriors, you got Anthony Davis, you would have got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and then you got your best player on this team, Stephen Curry. He's been the best player in Warriors history since day one. And then you got your best coach in the NBA, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is the best coach in the NBA. He's won 4 championships as a head coach. He could have won. He could have easily won 6 if it wasn't for this long 3-1 lead 10 years ago. And if they didn't lose 4 out of 6 to Toronto, they would have won 6 total championships as a head coach. But he's won 4 of those. And he's He went 6 NBA Finals appearances. He won 4 of those. And 3 players who won their Finals MVP: Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant twice, Stephen Curry. 3 players who won the MVP of the NBA Finals, representing the Golden State Warriors: Andre Iguodala, 2015. Kevin Durant twice, 2017 and 2018. Stephen Curry, 2022. What if the Warriors would have won 2 more titles in 2016 and 2019? The MVPs were Stephen Curry twice. He would have been a 3-time NBA Finals MVP. If it wasn't for these 2 NBA Finals losses, including blowing a 3-1 lead against the Cavs in 2016, and then Kevin Durant got hurt in Game 5 in the NBA Finals in 2019, and then followed Klay Thompson getting hurt in Game 6 in the NBA Finals. They tore 2 ACLs in their last 2 games. So you didn't tell me none of that. That's not the spot that you put in, okay? You would have done several things, but you would have done done your job a whole lot easier. That's not out of my question right now. All right, I'm gonna do like this one more segment here, and then we'll get that done here. Let's go with Major League Baseball right now. The New York flipping Yankees continues to struggle. This tough stretch began. Since June 18th. The Yankees have lost 9 of their last 12 games since June 18th. They're 3-9, and their average under 3 runs a game during that stretch. Out of those 12 games, when they scored 3 runs or less, eight of those 12 games, when they scored 3 runs or fewer, and they lost all of those games. 8 of those 9 losses, when they scored 3 runs or less. The Yankees' offense has really struggled. Largely, Aaron Judge is on the injury list. So is Giancarlo Stanton. And Ryan McMahon is out. Austin Wells is not swinging the bat very well. Chad Chisholm just left the game with a concussion last night. I'm not sure he's going to play. Garrett Cole has really struggled. And the defense has been bad as of late. They give up more than 14 unearned runs during that 12-game stretch. They give up a lot of unearned runs during that 12-game stretch. The Yankees' defense has been really poor as of late. And this isn't helping. This isn't helping at all. If you're the New York Yankees, Yankees lost to the Tigers yesterday 7-3 in New York in game 1 of this 3-game set. Right now, the Yankees are not in first place. They're 48-36. They're just a game and a half out of first place of the American League East behind the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are 48-33. They have the best record in the American League right now. Are the Yankees still the most dangerous team in the American League? Yeah. Yes, they will. Can they come out of the pennant? Yes, but I'm not sure they can come out of this pennant. The American League. Oh, by the way, just 5 American League teams are over 500. Rays, Yankees, White Sox, Guardians, and the Rangers all have winning records entering June 30th. So, speaking of which, here are the playoff picture as of June 30th. Number 1 is the Tampa Bay Rays. Number 2 is the Chicago White Sox. Number 3 is the Texas Rangers. Here are the wild cards. Yankees have the first wild card. Second wild card is the Cleveland Guardians. The third wild card is the Seattle Mariners. That's the American League playoff picture as of right now. If the season had ended today, it would be Mariners and the Rangers. And the Guardians Yankees for the American League Wild Card Series. White Sox and Rays will have the bye. And that's what happens. This is the playoff picture that I'm looking right now. Where is Aaron Judge? How concerned are the New York Yankees? They should be concerned. And when I ask a whole lot of questions, where's the production going to come from? And I don't know what the production will look like. This is a big problem. The biggest problem right now for the New York Yankees so if that's going to be the case, there's something else you wanted to say. I don't believe you. And I believe anyone else. And I'll always believe you for more. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the New York Mets. Once again, another Mets loss. The Mets lost to the Yankees. The Mets lost to the Blue Jays in Rogers Center, 2-1. And this was his 4th game for Andy Green as interim manager. 1-3 since he took over. How the Blue Jays scored their first run. So, in the bottom of the first inning, George Springer hits a triple. This was after Juan Soto misplayed it in left field. And then Ewing misplayed it in left center field. George Springer comes home and he scores on the Ewing's fielding error. So it's a Little League home run for George Springer to make it 1-0. And then Miles Straw hit a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 5th to make it 2-0. But Francisco Lindor, after they made a second error, I believe Andy Green took out Sean Manaea out in the 6th inning. There was 2 outs, I believe. And then Francisco Lindor tells Andy Green, said, "No, don't take Manaea out. Just give him one more chance to get the final out." And he didn't. Austin Warren, the reliever, took over. And then Lindor hit a home run in the 7th inning, if I'm correct. Yeah, Lindor hit a home run after he was arguing long distance towards the Mets dugout, from the shortstop, distancing between the shortstop and towards the Mets dugout to Andy Green. And then he homered in the 7th inning. Francisco Lindor homered in the top of the 7th inning. But unfortunately, the Mets lost 2-1. They have lost 9 of their last 10 games, and they're sitting 35-50. It has been a disaster season for the Mets. The Mets committed 2 more errors. The defense has been sloppy over the last. They've been sloppy. As a matter of fact, they've been sloppy in the last 7 games. As a matter of fact, the Mets has been sloppy defensively all season long. When defense make bad plays, you're going to lose baseball games, and that's all that matters because of that situation. And I cannot take a stand aside right now. And and that's what happens here. You put yourself in a really, really bad situation right now here. Let's take a look at the National League playoff picture as of right now. Number 1 seed is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers are 55-30. They have the best record, not just in the National League, best record in baseball. Despite they missed a lot of games due to stints on the injured list. They're still winning baseball games. Number 2 seed is the Milwaukee Brewers, 51-31. Number 2 seed. Number 3 seed is the Atlanta Braves. They're slumping as of late, but they still have a 3.5 game lead over the Phillies. The Braves are 49-33. Here are the wild card leaders. First wild card is the Chicago Cubs, 47-38. Second wild card is the Philadelphia Phillies, 47-38. The tiebreaker goes to the Cubs. The Cubs are 6-1 this season against the Phillies. And then the final wild card spot, it gets a little interesting. The final wild card spot of the National League. Give me a second. Who has the final wildcard spot in the National League? It's the St. Louis Cardinals. It's based on percentage points. The Cardinals win a tiebreaker with St. Louis based on percentage points. Despite the Bruins, we'll get to that in a moment, but St. Louis Cardinals, their win percentage is .531. St. Louis is 43-38. Marlins are out of the picture. They're 45-40, which is a .529 win percentage. So they need to get some help off of that, if that's going to be the case. All right, so what's coming up in tomorrow's JDB's morning cap? Right now, as of right now, there's not a lot of breaking news in the NBA for Agency Day 1. We will keep you updated I'll recap those tomorrow, since it hasn't happened yet. So I'll keep you updated tomorrow in this one here. And then I'll do the show tomorrow, and then I'll take the rest of this week off. So that's it. This is JDB's Morning Cap. See you tomorrow. Have a good day.